Okay, go. Hey baddies! So today I'm going to talk about honestly one of my greatest struggles, which is being okay doing things alone. Like, you'd assume that by being an only child that, I'd already be used to it. But really I'm not. Like, I've always found myself shy or just like too scared to do things by myself, whether that's like, going to the gym, trying out a new hobby, going on like solo dates and everything like that. And I've learned that I'm fine going on my own, like going to the gym, because like, how do I say it? It's like I'm in my own like little bubble. Same way that I feel comfortable going to, let's say, a cafe to do like some studying, to do some work done, like perfectly fine with that. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But then when it comes to things where there's some sort of like social aspect to it, like I struggle a lot more in a sense. And where I really learned my lesson was actually at Coachella. So if you guys didn't know, let me reel you guys back. But my cousin, she invited me to go to Coachella with her this year, and it was just the two of us. So a lot of things that we were planning on doing, we were like communicating with each other, like, oh, let's do this, let's do that. I really want to try out this, I really want to try out that. And like we just found out that we had drastically different like music taste, to say the least. Like there's some things where, we both really enjoyed. Like when we went to see Beanie, like I've never really listened to them, but I wanted to be there for her, that kind of thing. And then same way, like we both went to Cat's Eye. Like she's not really into Cat's Eye, but she was there for me. But when it came to like things that were like outside of like the poppy realm, like more of like the EDM music, was when we started feeling and seeing like these differences. And this was really obvious on like Saturday, because there wasn't really many pop acts that we wanted to see together. And there was way more EDM artists that day. Like, what was there? There was like Tinashe, they had, I believe, David Guetta that day, Armin van Buuren, and that sense. And that day as well, she wasn't really feeling too well. So the entire time we were together, we both had the same mindset, which was, hey, I really want to make sure that, they're okay, but I also want to do this. Like, for me, it was like, oh, I really want my cousin to be there with me, but I know she's not feeling well. So I had this feeling of like, I have to take care of her, I have to take care of her. And I couldn't really focus and like enjoy what I was doing. And then it was also the fact that I was like, man, I really don't want to do this on my own. Like, I don't want to be here alone. I really want my cousin to be here with me, and experience it with me and have fun. But when we were at like the Do Lab, she really was not feeling well. She was sitting down and I felt really bad. And then she said, hey, I'm just going to step out for a bit. I'm going to go pee. And I'm just going to sit because I'm not feeling well. And she just left me. And I was like, oh, I felt at first, I was like, man, like, why did she leave me? Like, I felt alone. I was a little bit frustrated, to say the least. But I was also really worried, because I was like, is she okay? What happened? I don't know where she's at, all that kind of thing. And so from there, I left, like maybe like 2 minutes after she left. I didn't know where she went. I'll be honest with you. I don't know which bathroom she went to. I don't know where she's sitting down. But I was also just feeling like a little bit of frustration. So I did just want to, sit down, collect my thoughts and that kind of thing. And that is what I did. And I actually reached out to our other cousin to talk about this, because I was really frustrated. I was like, man, I really wanted to enjoy this with her. I'm scared of being on my own. Like, that was the number one thing in my mind. It's like, I'm scared of being in this like crowd alone. Like, I don't want to do anything without her and that kind of thing. And so, I was just sitting and stuff, and then maybe it was like 30 minutes to like an hour. I was just sitting on the hill, like between like the Do Lab and the Sahara tent. And yeah, just like watching the crowd, being on call with one of my cousins, just like talking to her and being like, how do I approach her like that? How do I approach her? How do I tell her like, hey, I really want you to be there, and that kind of thing, but I also wanted to like respect her boundaries as well. What happened was she texted me. She's like, hey Julia, where are you? I had to sit down in this area. I was watching a little bit of the acts. Like, you want to meet up? And then I was like, yeah, yes, please do. Like, I don't want to be alone. Like, but I really appreciated having a bit of that time to myself because I was able to like reflect more. And that is where we just had a conversation. We were just talking about it. We both had like the same concerns and such. And, you know, I understood like her boundaries was just like, oh, she doesn't really enjoy it. She feels really anxious in that sense, being like in a really crowded space. And also, it was her first time being at like a music festival, so she herself is like learning her own ways and how she wants to come approach it and everything. And you know, it was just like both just sitting down talking to each other, and it was like we really needed that moment. Like, when we talk about it, we're both like, damn, like that talk was needed, because I think if it continued and if we didn't talk about it, I feel like we would be very annoyed with each other and not fully understand each other. And so it was honestly breathtaking, and I just felt like a sigh of relief. And we had like a game plan now. So that night, I really wanted to see Armin van Buuren, and she wanted to see Justin Bieber. And so we were like, okay, let's have a game plan. Let's honestly, I was like, you know what? I should try this on my own. Like, I really, really should try this on my own and be okay on my own, in that sense. And I felt so like nervous and everything, but I was like, nah, like, it is selfish. Like, in my mindset, I was like, okay, it is selfish of me to ask her to, you know, keep her with me the entire time that I want to see, you know, the artist that I want to see, while at the same time she wants to see another artist. And we found it was a bit hard to like on Friday when we like split a set, because part of us wanted to stay for the entire thing, while part of us wanted, or like one of us wanted to stay for the entire thing, and then another one of us wanted to like go to like the next thing. And so we were like, okay, we have to do this. We have to figure this out, because if we don't, like, we won't feel any sort of satisfaction being at Coachella. Because when is there, what other chance do we have going to Coachella again, seeing like these artists again and all that kind of sense? And so that is just what we did. So we had like a whole like game plan essentially, where we're like, okay, so I'm gonna drop you off early at the main stage, and then I go to Yuma tent. And we finally had like a proper meeting spot where we wanted to go, like after the acts that we want to see and like everything, because we were like, we should leave before, I think it was not Carol G, before like Justin finishes, because we knew the shuttles would go so crazy with the lineups and everything. So we're like, okay, let's do that. Let's have this game plan. And, you know, separating from her, I was still feeling this nervousness. I was like, man, I really don't want to be here alone. I'm going to be so awkward, blah, 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 blah. And then I get to the Yuma tent, and I realized that like there's people in the back, and there was cushiony seats to sit at, and it was air conditioned, but it was night, so it was a little bit too cold for me as a Canadian, American Canadian, whatever. But it was a little bit too cold. But I found like these seats in the back corner where everybody was just like seated by themselves, and just jamming out to the music. And I was like, oh, I kind of like this vibe. Like, I'm not the only one alone. Like, at that moment, I was like, oh, I felt like a little boost of confidence. I was like, okay, I'm not by myself. There's other people like me, so I kind of don't feel alone anymore, because there are other people here. And so I found like I said, I found like that seated area. I moved to a bench, and I was just like, you know, jamming out to the music, texting my cousin, but her signal was terrible, so we couldn't really update each other and that kind of thing. And I was like telling her like, hey, like if any chance that you already feel overwhelmed, because I knew the crowd at Justin was going to be really crowded, and she said when I left her, she was planted at the middle. She was like, I'm gonna sit here in the middle, want to be as close so I can hear him. And so I knew she was like in the middle of everything, and understanding that she was a little bit more anxious being in like such a tight crowd. I was like texting her like, hey, if you need to like step out or you want to like a breather or anything, like there's a spot here if you want to join. It's just that you can sit down and chill, and it's air conditioned, and it's pretty freeing. And like I was just telling her that. I was also texting my boyfriend as well, like telling him like, oh yeah, the set's really good, like I wish you were here, that kind of thing. Because while I was just sitting there, I still felt really shy. I didn't want to be alone. I just kept checking on my phone, but I was trying to enjoy the music. And then all of a sudden there's this couple seated right next to me, and I felt like a little tap on my shoulder, and like she brings out her candy, and this is what I got from her. So sweet, so cute. And she's like, oh, are you on your own? I was like, yeah, I am. Like, I separated with my friend because she wanted to see Justin, but I really wanted to see this, and so I'm just here. And she's like, oh, no worries. Like, you joined the right party zone. Or sorry, you joined the party zone. Nice to meet you. We exchanged our names. I met her partner and such, and it was like all good vibes. And right there, I just felt like, wow, I'm really not alone. I feel a little bit protected in a sense where it's like, yeah, I made some friends in a sense, or I made some acquaintances, and yeah, I didn't feel alone anymore, and it felt really nice because we were just seated there, and we're just like enjoying the music, looking at the lasers and everything. So it was a lot of fun, and I found a lot more enjoyment out of that. Yeah, after that, like, met up with my cousin again, asked her how it went, and we went off on our day, and I was like, wow, I didn't think I would enjoy that, but I did. Now, that was only Saturday. Sunday was still an issue too, because I wanted to see Subtronics, and on Sunday I think we finally figured it out, like our groove and everything, where we were like, okay, like let's do all the activations and that kind of thing. There weren't a lot of acts that she wanted to see, but she was down to like, go a little bit further away from like the stage and like the crowd, and just like sit down and just like enjoy the music. And she was feeling better that day, so it was just like, okay, we found like this groove and like this drive together, and we're like, yeah, this is a lot more fun. Like we're like, I felt like, yes, I'm not alone anymore. Found so much enjoyment out of that. And then come around like 9, it was like I really wanted to see Subtronics, and she wanted to see Lueve. And as much as I love Lueve, I wanted to see Subtronics so bad, because I've seen him once and I wanted to see him again. And I heard rumors that probably John Summit would have been there. He wasn't. Spoilers. Or I guess not spoilers, because it's been a few weeks since. Yeah, so I really wanted to be there. And same thing, essentially. We had like a game plan and everything. Again, because it was like my second time being alone in like a giant crowd and everything. I was like, man, I don't want to be alone. I don't want to be here. Like, I wish my cousin was here. Like, I don't want to do this. But then, no, I was like, I had a text message from one of my friends, or a couple of my friends actually, and I was texting them about this, and they were like, girl, when is the next chance that you get to do this? You might as well just enjoy it and figure out if you do like doing these things by yourself, or you actually need somebody there the entire time. And I was like, yeah, you know what, other than like last night, like I should try it again to like essentially confirm my belief that I will be okay on my own and I will find enjoyment out of it. And guess what? That's what I did. So there was no acts before Subtronics for like a good like 30 minutes. So I went up and got to barricade. I was like, I'm gonna chill here and wait until Subtronics comes on, because being at the front, I feel like I don't need to socialize with anybody. Like, I don't need to do anything. I can just be there and just jam and all that kind of sense. But I am really proud of myself because I took a little bit of a step forward, and there's this couple behind me and they seemed really excited to see Subtronics as well. And I was like, oh, like, do you want to squeeze in as well? And they're like, no, it's fine, it's fine. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, oh, and then I just started, striking up a conversation with them. And we were just talking about like Subtronics and like how excited they are for it because they've never like listened to his music before, but they have like friends who are familiar with his music. And I was just like telling them like, yeah, just get ready, like it's very like bass heavy, like dubstep. You're gonna be like headbanging, just get ready for that, just be so excited. Essentially we were just feeding off each other's like energy and such, and we were just being like so hyped up. And even throughout like the whole thing, like I was just so entranced by it. And another way that I didn't feel like too alone or like too scared was I texted my boyfriend and I was like, okay, can you tune into his set on YouTube and just like watch it with me so we can both like text each other about it and be like, wow, that part was so cool, oh my god, that transition, like all that kind of thing. And that is what he did, even though like at the end of the day I'm still there alone at this act. I found like comfort in my own way, like, and I also lost signal at a certain point, so there was moments where I didn't feel alone, but where I was genuinely like alone and I didn't have like communication with people that I know personally. And so it was just like really learning. Right there was a learning moment for me because like I just connected with the music. I was just jamming, I was vibing with the people beside me, making small talk and conversations with the couple behind me as well. And we were just like having fun. And yeah, after that act was over, it did feel like a transformative experience. Like I just felt like, wow, I did that on my own. Like I actually did it. Like I even, struck up conversations, being more open, being less shy, really just finding enjoyment in doing what I like and what I enjoy. And I never thought I could get to that point in a sense. And yeah, once the act was over, I had a quick brief conversation with that couple. And I was like, oh, how did you guys enjoy it? Was that fun? Did you guys enjoy it? Do you guys like Subtronics now? All that kind of thing. And they were like, yes, it was so good. And we were like, okay, it was really nice seeing you. And we were both like, yeah, so we were just like, have a safe, get home safe, all that kind of thing. It was so much fun. And yeah, I was just so excited. I just like texted Andrea. Like, she said she was heading over and was like, dude, it's too crowded. I'll just meet you at like where we usually meet. And so we met up and we were both just like gushing to each other about how much fun that we had like on our own. And I think that was like the best part about it. It was just like we were able to like just share with each other like what we found so exciting, what we found so much fun and everything. We were both like, yeah, like this one's it was so fun seeing like Leve and like her performance. I never thought like I would enjoy her, and I was like, dude, it was so fun, like there was so much music and then they was playing this and that, and it was like it just like drove like conversations to each other, and it was just like we were bouncing off each other's like energies as well. And right there I realized like, yeah, I did it. I actually did it. I did something on my own twice now, and I really enjoyed it. Like, I never thought that I could, and I did it. But yeah, that is essentially what happened. We drove back to her house all the way from Palm Springs. God, 3-hour drive. And the entire time we were just like chatting with each other, talking, and my flight was the next day. We were just like talking and such, and just really reflecting on it more and such. And yeah, like that is essentially how I learned doing things by myself that I enjoy without, having the need of having other people with me. Like, yeah, I found it a lot of fun. Like, I just think back on that moment, I was like, damn, I was there. But yeah, like, I think it was a transformative experience. And I think like the biggest takeaway that I want other people who had the same mindset as me or are experiencing like the same things, it's just that think about it in a sense. If it was like Coachella or like something that is a limited time and you're going to it by yourself, ask yourself, okay, when's another time I'm able to do this? Can I figure out that I'm gonna be okay on my own? Will I be okay on my own? And usually the answer is yes. And then you can also make yourself like some goals for yourself. Like for me, my goal was essentially like, I want to trade my candy. I just wanted to trade candy. And I did so, especially on the Saturday. And essentially like make friends and that kind of thing. Like not initially my intention, but it was in the back of my mind. Like I just wanted to like be more open to other people, being okay to like listen and that kind of thing. So yeah, biggest takeaway for you guys is essentially like, are you like, is this something that you really want to do? Are you going to be okay on your own? When's another opportunity you get to do this? And another big takeaway is that like, hey, if you do this on your own, you learn more about yourself. You gain a better, deeper like introspection on like what your boundaries are, what you enjoy, what you don't enjoy, what is something that you find fun sociably by yourself and all that kind of thing. And so yeah, that is what I learned. And now I have a lot of things that I do want to do on my own, while at the same time like it would be fun to do it with friends. Like I'm gonna be okay. Now I know like I'm gonna be okay on going on my own. I can like strike up conversations with random people if they're open to it. But yeah, like now I have goals where it's like, oh, I really want to do like Pilates on my own because I've always done it with like my friends and such. That is just my Coachella experience right there. I feel like this video has like two topics, which is like my Coachella experience and just learning to be okay to do things on my own. Because at the end of the day, you can't always rely on other people. There will be instances where some people can't make it. Some people, you know, are too busy. Maybe they're not interested and whatever. And that is when you should learn to rely on yourself and be more confident in your own person. You can't always rely on like friends and other people to always be there. At the end of the day, you still have yourself. And I think it is such a powerful ability for yourself. Because like I said, at the end of the day, it's just you. You don't know what's gonna happen to your friends or anybody, but if you're gonna be okay by yourself, that's all you really need. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have like other topics that you guys want me to like talk about from my own experience, I'm more than happy to share it. Be sure to comment them below, or even like, what are some things that you have done on your own and learned, or like what was that moment for you? If you were like me, like what was that moment or like epiphany that you had where you learned that it was okay to be by yourself and doing things by yourself? So yeah, let me know in the comments below, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!